Hello, this is Jenn Espinosa-Goswami. I help coaches, counselors, and healers create their signature talk so they can grow their business and their platform through the art of public speaking. And if you're new to my channel here, make sure you subscribe and don't miss a single weekly video that I send out. They are bite-sized videos of 10 minutes or less and go out every week on public speaking tips. Now today I'd love to share about how to outline your signature speech in just minutes. Now, this is the very foundational piece of work that I do when I'm working with my coaching clients. And often my coaching clients are confused as to why it takes 3 months minimum for them to complete their first signature speech. Well, it's because most of us are approaching our signature speech from the wrong direction. And you'll learn more about what I mean by that in just a moment. But before we get started with how you outline your signature speech, it's important first to understand that you need a few pieces of information before you are ready to do the outline. You ready to hear what those pieces of information are? What is your speech topic? It should be a single topic. It should not be more than one topic. If you have a variety of topics and you're like, I'll just talk about all of them and they kind of loosely fit within this umbrella, stop. Don't do such things. A single topic. Often it will be whatever you speak about, mostly within your industry. Then you need to have some sort of expert speaker bio. If this is not something you have already, or you have that speaks to your ability to be an expert speaker who speaks on stages around your topic, we need to have a conversation. Also, it's important for you to understand what types of audiences do you want to speak to. Now, this is not just the where, this is also the who. The where would be where you like to present your speeches, whether it's live, in person, virtual, hybrid. Many events are hybrid. Where, as well as what geographic location, but you also want to know who you want to be in that audience. Is it C-suite executive leaders? It is women at retreats, or mothers, stay-at-home moms. You need to determine what that audience looks like, and then you're ready to get started with your signature speech outline. All right, so once you have that, I always say when it comes to your signature speech, you have those pieces of information in front of you and you're like, I'm ready to rock this out. Okay, we start with the end in mind. And here's what I mean by this. When we usually write stories or books or scripts, we tend to do it completely backwards. When you're writing a signature talk, there's a particular moment or emotion that you want your audience to get to. It's kind of like when you're in a river that's rushing. Eventually you will end up on the riverbank, right? There's a place you end up at the end of that journey. That is what your job as a signature speaker is to make sure they land safely at the end of the riverbank. And how you do that is you are very clear with yourself and your audience. What emotion are you going to leave them with when you utter your last word for your signature speech? Once you know what that emotion is, you build everything up in your presentation to get to that place. Now, this may be different from what you've heard because it is different. Usually we try to think in terms of order of events, like this happened, then that happened, then that happened. That is not how you do a signature speech. And if you're doing your current speeches or social media content that way, you could be missing the mark in terms of where your audience needs and should land by the end of your presentation. Then we talk about the roadmap. Now, I have a free resource called the Signature Speech Template that will walk you through this roadmap. It gives you all the elements and it helps you with ideas for engagement, the rules of engagement, if you will. See below this video for how you download that resource. But in a nutshell, here's what it is. You have an intro as a speaker. You have your roadmap. Here's what we're going to talk about. Points, here's what we're going to get to. Then you get into your points. Ideally 3 points, probably no more than 3, depending on the length of your presentation. You need stories and transitions in between each point, especially if you're hitting hard on emotion. You don't want to leave your audience in a very uncomfortable, difficult place for them to sit with you. If you're sharing your personal story, make sure there is a lighthearted moment or a less intense moment so your audience can breathe. It's really important. You are cultivating an experience and you don't want folks to be feeling negative by the end of your presentation. Remember, where are they ending up once that river takes them to the end of the riverbank? And then we also talk about the transition to the call to action and your conclusion of your presentation. In a nutshell, that is the outline for your signature speech template. If you want this outline in written form, download my free resource below this video. Now remember, when it comes to mistakes about writing speeches, it's not a order of events. You're not writing first, then this, then that. Instead, you're starting with the end in mind, the emotion that you want your audience to take with you and that journey, and you create the roadmap for that journey, point by point and story by story. They may not even be in the same order. It's okay to put them in different orders, folks. That's how you deliver an amazing presentation, as long as the story and the moral of the story are clear, not just for your audience, but for you as well as a presenter. If you don't know where you're going with your stories, then you're wasting your breath. In the meanwhile, make sure to subscribe to this channel. My name is Jenn Espinosa-Goswami. I will see you next week to talk more about your signature speech. Take care.